All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on how modern companies manage their data pipelines with a really powerful tool called AWS Glue. But here's the cool part. We're going to see how a simple, friendly web dashboard built on top of it can make all that power accessible to anyone, not just the engineers. Ready? Let's dive in.
So first things first, let's talk about the problem Glue is actually trying to solve. You know, every company has data pouring in from all over the place. We're talking files, reports, spreadsheets, you name it. And a lot of the time, it's pretty messy and comes in like a dozen different formats. So how do you even begin to make sense of all that chaos?
Well, probably the best way to think about AWS Glue is to picture a robot chef working away in a giant cloud kitchen. Its one and only job is to take all of your raw ingredients, all that messy data, and just automatically collect it, clean it up, transform it, and get it ready to serve.
Right. So the key thing to remember is that Glue is an automated service. It's what we call serverless. It's built from the ground up to get all that raw data ready for the really important stuff, like business analytics or training a new machine learning model. It's basically the master prep cook for your entire data operation.
So how does our robot chef actually do its job? Well, it's got three main tools in its kit. First up are jobs, which are kind of like its recipes, the exact scripts it follows to transform the data. Then you've got crawlers, which act like its sensors, scanning new ingredients to figure out what they are. And finally, there are workflows, which is the master plan that chains everything together so it all just runs automatically. It's an incredibly powerful system, but, and this is a big but, it comes with a catch.
And here's the problem. The control panel for this amazing robot chef, the standard AWS console, it's built by engineers, for engineers. It's not really meant for anyone else.
For a manager, or a client, or heck, someone on the operations team, logging into the AWS console is like stepping into the cockpit of a spaceship. You're just bombarded with technical logs, configuration pages, and all these settings that are completely overwhelming if all you want to know is, hey, did that job run successfully?
This slide just nails it, right? It shows you the two completely different worlds we're talking about. On the left, you've got the engineer's view, this complex web of IAM roles and log streams. But over on the right is what the business actually cares about. Simple, direct questions. Can I run the job? Is it working? Show me the results.
And that massive gap between those two worlds, that's where our solution comes in. We build a clean, simple, and really friendly dashboard that acts as a bridge. It sits right on top of AWS Glue, giving all the non-technical users the simple controls they need, while that heavy-duty engine just keeps humming along in the background. Okay, so how do we actually build this thing? We use a handful of AWS services that are basically designed to fit together perfectly, just like a Lego kit. Let's take a quick look at each piece. First up is Amazon S3. This is our giant storage warehouse. It's super simple. Every single file, doesn't matter if it's a CSV, an XML, or a log file, it lives right here. Think of it as the central pantry for our robot chef. Next, of course, is AWS Glue itself. Like we said, this is the core engine. It's doing all the heavy lifting, processing the data, and getting everything organized.
Now, this next piece is really clever. It's called Amazon Athena, and it's our query brain. It lets our dashboard ask questions of the data in S3 using standard SQL. This is a total game changer because it means we don't have to set up and manage a whole separate database. It's just incredibly fast, super efficient, and way more cost-effective.
And to keep everything safe and sound, we use Amazon Cognito. You can think of it as the security guard standing at the front door of our dashboard. It's what manages who can log in and what they're allowed to see and do. And here it is, the star of the show, the Node.js dashboard. This is the simple web application that everyone actually uses. It's that friendly face that talks to all the other services in the background and presents everything in a clean, easy-to-understand way. And finally, we have CloudWatch. This is pretty much our CCTV system. It monitors everything and stores all the logs from our Glue jobs. So if something ever goes wrong, this is the first place we look to find out why. Okay, so we've seen all the Lego pieces. Now, let's see how they all snap together to create a complete, working system. We're going to follow a single piece of data on its journey, all the way from start to finish. So here's the whole flow in action. It all starts when a new file lands in our S3 warehouse. Right away, a Glue job kicks off to clean it and process it. The second that's done, Athena makes that new data available to be queried. Our dashboard then immediately shows the latest job status and any new insights.
And finally, this is the best part. A business user can see the results and decide to take action, like maybe rerunning a job, all without ever having to call an engineer.
So, what does a simple dashboard like this actually unlock for the business? Well, it's the power to run jobs whenever they want, to actually see the progress with visual status bars, to view the final output in analytics, and to have a crystal clear audit trail of what happened and when. It all comes down to control and visibility.
And that brings us to the real heart of this whole thing. It's not just about having a powerful tool. It's about making that power genuinely simple and intuitive to use.
You know, the big idea here is simple, but it's also really profound. An engine, no matter how powerful it is only as useful as the controls you have to operate it. AWS Glue is that incredibly powerful engine, but our custom dashboard, well, that's the simple steering wheel, the gas pedal, and the speedometer that actually lets everyone drive.
So in the end, the business gets exactly what it always needed. Full visibility into their data pipelines, control over them without needing a deep technical background, and a secure tool that's always in sync with those powerful cloud services running behind the scenes. It really just transforms complexity into simplicity.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This whole idea, building a simple user interface for a really complex system, it isn't just for cloud data pipelines. It applies literally everywhere. So I want you to think about your own work. What powerful engineer-focused tool in your world is just waiting for a simpler front door?